we ready? All right. I will call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. We will start with a pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Turpinning,
Present.
McYanny,
Here.
Wendell,
Here.
Van Selfie. Here. Keikos,
Here.
Hutton,
Here.
Cullis.
Here. So everybody is present. Agenda changes or approval of agenda? No changes appearing. Chair would call for a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Wendell, second by Turpinning. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Approval of the minutes for September 11th. Are there any additions or deletions to the minutes? I wasn't at that meeting, so
It went pretty good, didn't it, McKinney?
Excuse me?
It went pretty good, right? Our meeting on the 11th?
yeah, but the question at hand is whether
I
there's
see
any
no, yeah.
incorrect
Are there any
information on the
incorrectness?
document.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I did not see any.
I didn't see any. I make a motion to approve September 11th minute.
Motion by
second.
Turpinning, support by Keikos. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Statement of purpose. The mission of the Holly Historic District Commission is to safeguard the heritage of the village of Holly by preserving the historic district within the village that reflects the elements of the village's history, architecture, archaeology, engineering, or culture. The goal of the Commission's work is to stabilize and improve property values in the historic districts and the surrounding areas, foster civic beauty, strengthen the local economy, and to promote the use of the historic districts for the education, pleasure, and welfare of the citizens of Holly. Public comment. Members of the public can address the Commission once recognized by the chairperson. Comments are limited to a maximum of 4 minutes for items not on the agenda. Commission may extend this time by up to an additional 4 minutes by a majority vote. For items on the agenda, comments may be made after Commission discussion, prior to Commission vote. Prior to addressing the Commission, members of the public shall state their name and address for the record. Do we have any public comment for items not on the agenda?
Stacy, you can't make a public comment.
She's public, she can.
She's a smart aleck. It went back off. I think the batteries are dead. Councils, darn council people.
All right.
You don't want to take care of nothing anymore. Now it flashed.
Now someone has to public comment though.
Here we go.
Elvis.
Put them in backwards, were they?
I just put new ones in.
Pardon?
I just put new batteries in.
Oh, you, no.
Keep some. My voice down.
We should have council approve a new battery charger for it.
Okay, so, we will move on to old business. Revision to the wheelchair access ramp, application 2025-02 for 208 South Broad Street. Would you like to take the podium? Hang on for a second while I get your, the packet was a little confusing tonight. I had 2 sets of agenda pages, and then there was a separate envelope with some other stuff in it, so.
Yeah, I thought I've seen this before. I thought.
Oh, then this paper has nothing to do with, well, it's not on the, okay. I'm gonna run out of room. Go ahead.
Have some of mine, I'll scoot over.
Okay, we're here tonight to review a new design for the wheelchair ramp. Not a new design per se, but a new,
Additional design to the property?
not additional design, but a different product to complete the wheelchair ramp.
Oh,
Because originally it was designed with the anticipation of making it cement, but it is, well, it was twofold. One, I didn't think that that looked very historic or rustic, so I was looking for more of the wood look, and besides that, it's a lot less costly. So that was a big factor. So that's why we're here. And Kyle from Swank Builders is here to answer any specific questions about it.
okay. If I may, Mr. Nitschke, was there a fee paid for this tonight?
I'm looking at an application.
Par-
I paid for this.
Yeah, it said something on the,
I show it as paid.
yeah, paid.
Okay, well, the reason I'm asking is this, as I'm looking at it, this really didn't need to come before us. It's new construction, it's ADA compliant, it's not something we have jurisdiction over.
It's administrative.
This would have been under your
So you
administration.
feel this could have been an
Yeah.
administrative approval?
Because it's brand new, it's not something they had. And, you know, barring the fact that it may have looked like something, because it's brand new, it doesn't fall under us.
Can I still ask questions?
Yeah, of course.
What is your total drop from the, what's your height difference from
It's
the?
32 inches from the bottom of the door to grade. So that's why the ramp has to be so long and
Because
it
it's
has
gotta
to.
be like 6 feet of ramp for every foot of incline or something like
No,
that?
it's 1 foot of ramp for every inch of rise.
Okay, yeah, I knew it was something.
So you have to have 32 feet of ramp. Yeah, but see, and that's not something that's, I'm not criticizing you, but that's not something under our oversight. That would be the building department.
So
So-
I have a comment also, but I guess it's not historic district, but just looking at it and, just having to push somebody in a wheelchair, are you gonna change the way the door opens? Because right now the door opens so that you have to go out one way, close the door, and then come out.
We can change the swing of the door if we need to. I was basically operating off the initial architect's designs on which way it would swing. It would probably be easier to swing it the other way.
You mean you swing it inside?
Inside,
No, I can't swing it in because
Correct.
it has to swing out.
it has to
swing
swing.
Maybe we swing the opposite side.
Yeah,
so
but
that
if we
way you're
swing
not-
it out the opposite side, it would probably make things a little bit easier.
Yeah,
Either way, you've got plenty of landing there, and
right.
so it just depends on,
But if somebody doesn't have assistance, then they may have a difficult time, wheeling out onto the ramp and closing the door.
true.
Good point. Sorry, just.
Or if they're leaving, you always could ask one of the staff members to help get out the door. I mean,
Unless we don't
Yeah.
want them to leave, you know.
Well,
Well, I don't, but.
and most people try to be like as independent as possible and don't want to
Absolutely.
ask for help, so.
Sure.
That's the only thing I saw, I was like, well, it'd be helpful if
Yeah.
the door swung.
Yeah.
a little bit.
It's my understanding that the building was actually designed before the ramp was
Right.
really thought of, and so we just didn't change it after that.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad thing to keep in thought.
I mean, I'm glad that she's putting one in. I mean, I know it's probably required now, but it's hard to retrofit that stuff onto an antique
Well,
building.
just so we know in the future, because it's a handicap ramp, it's under ADA, that's just not something we have any jurisdiction over.
All right,
Now,
so-
just to clarify, if they were building an ADA ramp and they wanted to put covered roof and stuff, then we would. But just as I see it here, there's nothing for us to do. This could be an administrative approval.
All right, we will have it administratively reviewed and approved based on ADA standards, some of the questions that came up, and we will make sure that it gets refunded, the difference between the administrative review cost and the historic district.
So see,
That's not
Some-
words you used to
some-
hearing.
something went your way. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
No,
It's looking good.
So where did I do with that paper?
Which one, George?
No, they,
31 feet?
I don't know. I got so many papers tonight.
I know, I see a lot.
Well, I told you, I have 2 sets of agendas. I have,
Poor George.
then there's the thing, the letter from Kurt Nitschke. This is it here. Okay, so I can put this away. There is a letter in, we're still in old business. However, before I go to number 2, there is a letter in the packet from Mr. Nitschke regarding 123 South Saginaw.
Yeah, there was.
Is it on the agenda?
This item was administratively reviewed by Chief Watson, and he was just doing like for like on the rear, I believe, and it was just paint all administrative items.
Okay, Jeremy Watson had called me about this, and I talked to him on this. Just for future reference, typically on the agenda, it would fall under communication, and it can actually go up in the consent agenda. Well, we don't have a consent agenda up here, but it could go up by the agenda, just to call it, so it's recognized.
So add those to the minute, to the.
Well, because it is important that it shows up in the minutes that it was here.
Just doing an acknowledgement of receipt, not approval, so.
Okay, that'll take us to the status of the HD guidelines. That is the packet that was on the desk for you. This is a project that was started, I'm gonna guess, over a year ago, maybe even closer to 2. The board spent several hours on this in the beginning. Mr. McCanny did all of the legwork. Round of applause for Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
I say that because,
All that.
well, this was a lot of work, I know.
Yeah, so if you look.
I was
at
on the
back
phone
at
with you many
The
times.
revision history was created, 4/7/2022.
Yeah, so this, we've been working on this for 3 years.
For a while.
This had to go to the state and it has been approved by, do we have, do you know, do we have the approval from the state in writing?
Did you receive it from, the state office?
That may have been before Stacy.
Well, yeah, we'll have to verify, 'cause
No, yeah, I don't know.
In that approval, it gave some recommended changes, which we've made, and they're in this final document. And the reason I ask that is, we're going to approve this tonight to go to council for final approval. I think when it goes to council, it should have that,
absolutely.
okay?
Stamp of approval.
Just need to make sure we have the approval and put it as attached.
I'd like to take some time. We have 2 new members. By the way, let me welcome you to the commission, both Jan Van Zanfie,
Vant Zelfie, yep.
pardon?
Vant Zelfie.
Van Selfie, I may have to look at it a couple of times before I get it right. Van Selvdy and Andrew Kakos. So welcome to both of you. And whereabouts in the village do you live?
I live on Weller Court.
On where?
Weller Court off of Grange Hall, near Patterson School.
Oh, up that way, okay.
Oh, and the traffic nightmare.
The old orchard, the old apple orchard.
Yep, all right. Well, welcome to the commission. So just for both of you, I don't know how much of an introduction, were you given supplies? When I say supplies, the Secretary of the Interior guidelines, were you supplied with that kind of stuff?
Yes, yep. I have
Okay, so you have the necessary stuff you need.
Correct.
You will find, without, Ron Campbell, I've talked to, Kurt. I've talked to Ron Campbell. I'm talking to you, you're still our liaison? I don't want to ignore Mr.
No, he's, sorry.
Okay, well, I didn't want to ignore Mr. Price, but I thought you're my go-to. Okay, so I'll stay within that,
Price is a ghost.
I'll stay within that protocol. I've talked to Ron Campbell, he's gonna put together, another training. He comes in, it's about 15, 20 minutes. It will probably be January, February, I'm guessing. I will let you know when that's confirmed. But just to give you just a real brief overlay. Within the historic district, our concerns are the exteriors of the building. We don't have any jurisdiction over the interior. When it comes to a simple replacement of rotted wood, you know, board for board, that can be administratively approved, like the letter that was on Saginaw Street. Anytime there's going to be changes, a new porch built, that kind of stuff, then it needs to come to the HDC. We have had a couple of properties in the last few years where all of a sudden somebody just started building a new porch, and we had to stop the process so that it came here. And part of that problem is, as new people buy the property, they don't necessarily know there is in the historic district, because there's nothing to say, by the way, you're in the historic district. There's no law that makes real estate people tell them that, so they don't know. So this commission, several years ago, took it upon us to create this guideline so that these will be available at the village and handed out. I think, Mr. Price, so that you know, in the original conversation surrounding this, the first time this was ready, we were going to mail them to each house in the district. I don't know what that'll do now, but I'm just giving you the back history. And the idea was for people to know that once this is approved by the council, then we'll have to work on the cover letter that goes out to them explaining this. But our jurisdiction is the outside of the house. If there is a house in the historic district, there's one over on College Street. When you drive by, it looks like an old home. If you look real careful at the foundation, it's brand new. I say brand new. It burned a few years back and they rebuilt the house. That no longer is a historic home. So it's considered non-contributing to the historic district. There's another one on Maple Street right next door to McCanny's. There's a little red brick ranch there in the middle of all the big old beautiful homes. That house burned because they didn't have a historic district at the time. That house was allowed to be built there. If a house were to burn down in the historic district today, in order for them to build a new house, it would have to look like the district. It wouldn't be historical, it would be non-contributing, but architecturally, that house wouldn't have been approved to have been built there. It would have had to be something more in line with what was there. But those are two examples that exist here that I can point out to you so that you can see the difference. In some of the training.
Just on that point too, to make yourself feel really old.
Yeah, I need help with that, thanks.
The house next to me is actually now considered historical because it's over 50 years old.
Well, it would fall in the category, however, it's not within a community of those homes,
Right.
which would be called mid-century modern,
And mid-century modern now is historical.
is historical because of the age. But
Well, look at what the guy did on the corner of Park and Maple over there, made his porch all nice and enclosed.
that was approved here by this.
I'm not saying it, I'm saying it
No,
looked good.
In fact, that's my house
I-
that Wendell's talking about. That was approved by this district, and just so you know, it's my house, Mr. McCanny's had his house in front of the board. When that happened, I stepped down from the chair, sat in the audience. The co-chair, Mr. McCanny, ran the meeting, and I'm held to the same standards that anybody else is. What he's talking about is, on Park Street, we had a porch, screened-in porch, and it had fallen in disrepair and it needed to be replaced. Well, rather than spend 20 grand because it was so far gone, we chose